Hi. Hi, how are you all? I understand from Pradeep that there was a break now, but I'll be giving you some cough breaks today. Not coffee breaks. I probably think that you all had a very nice snack time. See this photo. I'm going to share a story with you about this particular building. As far as my memory goes, let me say now 35 years, this building is a primary school in a village called Thenur, which is about say 50 kilometers from this place. I took this photograph yesterday. It's still the same. 35 years down the lane, the only change that you see in this building is probably a fresh coat of painting. And this is where my start is happening also. In 1981, my family decided to move to Trichy city from this village. For what? To give me, my brother and my sister the best of the education, the best of the health care, the best lifestyle that they can provide to us. Specifically choices for our life. From my 4th standard onwards, every day I used to watch Living Planet, Jungle Book, read Amar Chitrakada, later on Asterix, Tintin, Invisible Man. Beautiful books to read. And also it helped me to fantasize a world, every day dreaming of a world where there are choices that's created in these comic books. Finishing my school education, moved on to do my engineering, created a lot of bonding, created deep friendships, new choices in my life, new choices with people. Moved on from college, went to work in Bombay, expanded my choices exponentially. I could interact with people from street vendors, railway beggars, technocrats, even sex workers. A world which expanded to me exponentially. And not only that, I could engage myself, engage my time in multitude of choices. Choices in developing my cultural abilities, my own link with art, my own link with people who created changes, social changes, personalities totally different, even cine artists. From there, it was IBM, Bangalore. It was a totally new information seeking there. So many choices for seeking informations. 99, I moved to US, a land of opportunity, a land of innovation, a land that taught me choice, creating choices was the most important thing in life. It's a birthright every human being needs to have. The choices that was provided to me, the choices that came to me actually built what I am today. Let me go back again to my friends during this 35 years period. What did they have? They had the school. They had a road which probably moved from Kacha road to a tarmac. They had still the ration shop to go for their kerosene, and for what? For cooking. Every week or every month, the maximum distance that they traveled was to Trichy to sell their produce, or probably get some groceries from that. Once in a while, once in a year, probably for an entertainment. So looking at the choices that I had in my life and the choices that were available for my own friends in this 35 years, it's totally different, unremarkable in one set of people, and remarkably life-changing experiences for me. 2005, when I came back from US, this is what I saw. This is what I saw in 2006. Any big difference from where I left my village some 30 years before? And during the survey, on a house-to-house survey, this is the health care that this lady could get. The nearest primary health center she could go to was at least 10 kilometers away. And for any secondary care, 40 to 45 kilometers away. Okay, a team from the village, I'm again repeating, a team from the village, most of them 8th standard, dropouts, 3rd standard dropouts, 5th standard dropouts, 10th, 12th. Later on, after a year, almost a couple of years later, a first graduate joined this particular team. The team decided to create a change, and this is what you'll see. And it took 7 years to create these changes. From roads which were, there were no roads which could actually make them feel better. Opportunities, employment opportunities, for most of them was, whenever there is farming, go to the farm. For the rest of the time, they really don't know what kind of work that they can do. From there, now we have people who can stitch some of the best looking bags, getting even exported. People who have just completed their 10th standard, girls who have completed 10th standard, now doing data entry, who do logo creation. Some of the graduates, BSc and MCA graduates, who could not find a job in Trichy because their confidence level has been so low, they are now IT developers. They develop for US-based company. They develop Android-based applications. That is a community hall, the one that you see on your left-hand side, and this was what the entire team was able to create. 500 students from 13 schools participated a few years before, were able to show their talents in this community hall. And next week, we have another event coming up, something like this. You're all welcome. And you could see, I had some friends who work in TCS who came and then conducted the quiz, and they were amazed. They were amazed by the talent. To give you a quick example, an audio of Obama's speech was put up, and it was picked up by a student of 9th standard. So that's the talent pool that is still available over there. It's that they need a they need something like this. They need something like this to show to the world that yes, we can. Can you please play that?
இப்ப கரெக்ட்டா ஸ்பெல்லிங் எழுதுங்க எத்தனை சிலபிள்னு நீங்க தான் சொல்லணும் First I will count 3 ராதிகா எழுதியாச்சம்மா எத்தனை சிலபிள்மா 3 சிலபிள்
gross annual value வந்து 68 82 தான்
He's a chartered accountant with Microsoft.
இது ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு 82 தான் இல்லையா
And they are BCom students.
ஒரு கால்ல மாத்திரம் தான் இருக்கு இந்த சைடு எடுத்து வேடா கண்ணா அதே மாதிரி அந்த பக்கமே
dermatologists actually looking at
அதுலயும் இருக்கு மேம்
this is the possibilities that students have. Students who are sitting in the road, sitting under the street light, now they have a choice. The choice to learn from this world, the choice to expand their horizon. And all this, as I told you, it was created by a team coming from the village. How could that be done within 7-8 years? And the most important point over there is that they felt the ownership of this particular change. Each and every point in time, all through the way, that ownership was there. But let's look at normally how these opportunities are getting created, looking at the choices that are created. And Pradeep, can I get the thatch, please? Thatch and both of them. Can I get a focus on this, please? This is something made from coconut leaf. This is called a thatch. This is something done locally. They know to do this really well. If you keep one thatch below this, you won't find even a single drop of water getting down this thing. And can you guess what's the square feet rate of this one? Square feet will be about, say, 3 rupees. So what did we do? Yes, and the other thing, if you look at the thermal property of this thing, it will keep your home cool during summer, warm during winter. There's one disadvantage of this. Yes, it catches fire very easily. Can I get that, please? There's one more thing that they were very comfortable using. This is a tile for roof. This is again a roofing material. A wonderful thing about this thing, about all our physics students can, when they keep like this, that is a thermal coefficient that happens over here. It will air that passes through here, and when it comes off, the heat is taken off and released, and the underlying layer is kept cold or cool. Okay, this was a technology that they were very comfortable with, that they were able to identify with. Most importantly, they were able to identify with. And what did we do? In the last 4 decades, we said, okay, these thatches catch fire, and they can only stay for about, say, 2 years, 3 years time. There are other ways, actually. Did it change? How did it change? Yep, sorry. There are other ways we could have innovatively thought about this particular problem and then created a solution. But what was working in an urban area a concrete building was the solution. We said that's the best thing to have. And I'll tell you, in my village or the village, most of the villages think that, okay, a solution that has been created in an urban place, yes, that's supposedly very good. That is something which should be the way that I need to go after. So they came back, they threw away all these technologies which they were very comfortable, which they owned, and then brought in cement, steel, mortar. And did they have a knowledge or understanding about steel or about cement? So what happens? They build a roof which would leak in 4-5 years' time. Not only that, they will not understand the thermal properties of concrete. So they build a 8 feet or 9 feet roof. Come summer, come April, in our villages, it's like 44 degrees. And inside it's much higher. So what I wanted to impress on over here is that while you could see changes that happened in a very quick time, they were able to identify and own. We brought in choices that they could not identify, they could not own, and it was a failure for them. The next most important thing, if you look at it, is that villages, rural places have had boundaries that were created. We also find difficult to cross boundaries, right? I found it a little difficult to cross boundary. When I went to US, for example, I had to prepare myself a lot. I lived in Detroit, where the temperature would go down to about, say, -10, -15 degree. And I had to prepare myself with all kinds of clothing. And not only that, each and every point of getting into that particular, crossing that boundary, it was very difficult for me. Villages also have boundaries. These boundaries, some of them are visible boundaries and some of them are invisible boundaries. I want to light upon at least a couple of things, invisible boundaries. One is caste, another is gender. Caste is a boundary which is really, really hard for a lower caste to cross the boundary. It's very difficult. Why I am saying this? Without understanding that this is the most important obstacle for them, and then bringing or creating a choices, it's again will lead to a failure point. And many of our solutions has been this way. Many of the solutions that the government has been able to bring about, or with all our good intentions that we are trying to create, without understanding these boundaries, whatever choices that we are creating for the people, it is actually taking them back. One example is that without understanding this caste or gender, even one failure in what they have been experimenting on and innovating will break their confidence so much that it will take them back again another 10-15 years time. Because in the last few decades, we have allowed their self-identity, their self-confidence, their own worth to go down. It was not the same way. 40 years before, they had also different choices in their life. They had choices in their food. Some of the best choices were available in the food. Now it's limited to a few things. the kind of occupation in my village itself, there were people who did excellent work with palmyra leaves. There were group of people who could work with bronze and copper. One of the toughest thing to work with. There were people who could do with multiple metal works. People who were very good in hand-eye coordination. I still keep saying there's a palmyra block. They have a hand equipment called watch, and the shining with which they can do it is something remarkable, something that even a machine cut can't do. So they all had these choices. So somewhere down the lane, we impressed on them that those choices makes meaning in the urban, those choices don't make meaning in the urban area, and slowly drifted that, okay, whatever meant in the urban world was what is best for the rural village. And if you look at the choices that were even created in urban, for example, the apartments that we live, the institutions that were created, the different clothing merchandise, where we go and then buy things, it is most of the places, these were the people who manned it, these were the people who built it, these were the people who sold your clothes. So what did they feel finally? Migration is the best answer. That what I sell is probably the best thing. What I build is probably the best thing. Not what I had. This was a barren land which could be created into a fertile place. See the beauty. There is the beauty of this thatch, and there's a beauty. And this is the beauty they all had. And we are losing it. Okay, what else happens? We bring in solutions like this. We bring in a toilet which works out for an urban population. Yes, true, certain type of toilets are good with an urban. When we take it to the village, this is how it is used. It doesn't work. Many of us think that, or not only many of us, many countries right now think globalization, becoming superpower, is what we all need to work for. We have to go after GDP, all these things. Not about holistic change. Not about change for people with whom I live with. Probably like that beautiful photo over there, that particular man. We are not thinking for that. It's a choice that we can make whether we will be in this maya of creating a superpower or being in truth of creating a holistic change. Thank you.